the hitting is the same. So hockey has an influence on this game.
And for those who haven't seen it before, there are some, I mean, there's many differences. You can't score across the whole width of the ground, for example. You'll be able to see a little orange marked area in which you can score across. And also you're allowed to pass forward, which is a definite no-no in all forms of rugby other than this, isn't it?
Yeah, you can pass forward, and we use a round ball. We use basically a volleyball. So it is quite a bit different, and the reason that it's called rugby is basically because of the attitude of the players and the ability to hit. So off we go, and this we'll see how they start. Sweden's got to have a good start. Well, Australia has one of the best players in the world in Riley Batt, who's number 3. And is he even going to... There he goes. Yeah, he's got to be starting. So Riley Batt is one of the best players in the world. And the thing about wheelchair rugby is it is similar to wheelchair basketball. It has a classification system involved where players are ranked on their physical function between 0.5 and 3.5 points. And you have 4 players on the floor, and they can only add up to 8. So when you have somebody like Riley Batt who's worth 3.5 points on the floor, you need to have low point players on the floor. Here we go. There's a tip-off.
And it's Australia's ball. And this is the aforementioned Riley Batt, the man from Port Macquarie in New South Wales.
Now, there's also a 40-second score clock involved in this game, so they only have 40 seconds to score. Oh, there's a foul. The thing you have to realize in this game is that chair contact is totally legal, so you can hit with your chair, but arm-to-arm contact is not. So Sweden just took a penalty for illegal use of hands because they got him on the arm. They were trying to get a jump ball, but they got him on the arm.
You can swipe the ball, though, can't you? But yes. you can't make contact with the arm.
Yeah, and that's what happened. He was trying to swipe the ball, and he got the arm instead.
So the clock stopped. We have clock stops here. So we've had just 17 seconds. There are 4 8-minute periods, quarters.
And there you go. He's a machine.
First point to Australia then.
So now, and a penalty is if you're on defense and you take a penalty, you're in the penalty box for 1 minute or until the other team scores. So he comes back in after Australia scores. If you're on the offense, you turn the ball over to the other team.
Well, Sweden coming forward now with their number 10 player, Anna Kulla.
And there's a little miscommunication. He threw it up for a long pass, and the individual he threw it to didn't go for the long pass. So that's a turnover. And this game is very much a game of turnovers. When you turn over the ball, you're in trouble. You can only turn it over a few times.
Greg Smith going forward and powering past his Swedish opponent. And that's another score for Australia. Now, do we call them tries, as in rugby?
I call them goals.
Goals, yep.
And they're up 2-0 already, which is not a good start for Sweden. There's Riley, as you can see, chair-to-chair contact's legal.
Yeah, just as well. If it wasn't, that would have been a foul. But forward go the Swedes now. That's more like it. As Duncan says, they've only got 12 seconds to get across halfway, and they've scored there. 40 seconds to score, otherwise you turn over the ball. It's 2-1 Australia.
And they're on the board. So here we go. Let's see if they can calm down and play the game they know the way they can. They're trapping Riley Batt. They've got 3 guys on him, but he's still out of there.
The 3.5.
Can he make it in 12 seconds? He did. He made it in about 8.
It's a 3.5 classification player. Nobody's going to stop him. It's 3-1 now, Australia.
And we'll see what happens. If Sweden scores here, they should be fine. They'll just keep this lineup on. If they went down another one, they might make a switch in terms of lineup matchups. They have a pretty good bench. And there it goes deep again.
It's a good pass. This is Mikael Nordlund.
They'll just go right through. He's another one. He's a very good player as well. He's a big guy, and he can power through. Now they'll try and shut down Riley Batt again, but he's already gone. And that's the only way you can beat Australia, is to somehow control Riley Batt. It's not easy to do.
So although they've got big squads into like 11 or 12 players, you've only got 4 on the court at any one time. Yeah. I mean, will somebody like Riley Batt, will he play virtually all the game?
It depends on the game. If they get up by close, 3 or 4, he'll take breaks.
Yeah.
But if it's a tight game, he could play the whole game. We've seen him do it.
4-2 then, Australia lead. Sweden have got to get across halfway.
Sweden has a low point player, the blonde kid there, Mikael Wahlberg, who was selected as the best player in his classification at the Canada Cup. About 6 months ago, we had the same teams participate in an invitational tournament called the Canada Cup. And he won the best .5. Riley Batt got the best 3.5. And the U.S. won that tournament. U.S. is favored to win the tournament.
Well, they've won the last two, the USA. That was another point back for Sweden. So 4-3.
There's Riley Batt again.
Now, how would they stop him then?
They'll have to double team him or triple team him. And then it'll depend on his counterparts and whether they can score, which they'll have a man advantage, but in many cases they can't because Riley just dominates.
Well, here's the Swedish number 22.
If you're just trading goals, that's fine.
And through for another 5-4 now, Australia lead.
So the difference is still that one turnover, that one pass that went astray from Sweden. This is Riley Batt. So they've got him trapped now. Now it depends on the other players. And they got through. That's Cameron Carr, I think, and he's scored. So they're up by 2 again.
Carr is a former nutrition student from Brisbane.
And one of the things that can happen is you can tire players out. So it's a long game. It's 4 8-minute quarters, and you're pushing hard when you're out there. So a lot of times you can play certain teams even for the first and second quarters, but then if you don't have a deep bench, you're in trouble for the third and fourth. Okay, they called that a penalty goal because the individual that was defending went out of bounds to stop it. So it's 6-5. It's a good quarter now for Sweden. They started off a little rough, but they're doing fine.
Yes, they're doing well.
And they got it into Cameron Carr.
They just can't stop this fella, though, can they?
Nope. But as long as they keep scoring, that's okay. They're only one turnover down. A few Aussie fans.
Well, wherever you go, whichever sport, there's always Australians, especially in London. Swedes in possession. They are in blue. That was a great ball steal there.
What did the ref call? The ref blew the whistle, so he may have called a jump ball. And then it would depend on the possession arrow. Jump balls are dependent on a possession arrow. Because they both have their hands on it, or do they call a timeout? It looks like an Australian throw-in, so that was another turnover. And it looks like one of the Swedish players has an equipment problem. And either he was going to sub or he's taken off because his chair's in ill repair. Those are the unsung heroes of this game, are the wheelchair maintenance guys. There are wheelchair maintenance staff on each bench, and they need to be well trained, and they need to be quick. You only have 1 minute to fix a repair on the floor, or the player has to be substituted. And they have made a substitution.
Here's Batt steaming through again for another Australian point.
And now they're down by 3.
Yeah, lots of work to do on the sidelines. I guess without those guys, game wouldn't last long, would it? Most of the equipment would be up the spout, really.
They had to use a timeout. So what happens with that is each team has 4 timeouts that can be called on the floor by players, and that's a limited amount. So a lot of the strategy is to get teams to use up the timeouts, and then they can't save themselves when they get close to 12 seconds over half, or they catch the ball and they're going out of bounds. Those are kind of savior plays with a timeout, but in the long run, you run out of them. Oh, they called Australia for a pushing call.
It's a foul called against the number 13, Cameron Carr.
So again, he's in the box for a minute or until Sweden scores.
Collision there. Sweden should be able to score here, shouldn't they? 4 against 3.
4 against 3. Down by 2, and Australia has the ball. And you'll see, you kind of think that Riley Batt is the only guy on the floor doing any work sometimes, but you see the way he turns back and turns around underneath the pile, and when he does that, his low point players are setting screens on the Swedish players so that he can get around. It's a very strategic game, but you have to watch it close to see what's happening. If you watch number 3, he's trying to set a screen on Riley Batt.
Yeah.
And he has. And that allows his guy to go.
This guy is Per Johan Ullman, and Ullman offloads the ball.
And Per Johan Ullman is known as PJ.
From Malmo.
Another one
Sweden.
of the better players.
His motto apparently is faster, harder, better, which could equally apply to this man, Riley Batt.
Still not too bad. Down by 3, but they have the ball. Interesting fact is the Swedish coach actually used to be the Canadian national team coach, and has moved over to coach the Swedish team. And they've gotten a little better since he moved there. Benoit Lebrecht.
There goes Ullman again, PJ Ullman.
As long as he's got Riley Batt behind him or somebody between him and Riley Batt, he's going to do fine. So no room there. Let's see what the ref calls for. Did we get him? Yes.
So that's a point?
I think so.
Yeah, it changed from 7-10 to 8-10.
He got 2 wheels in. So the goal line, you have to get 2 wheels over the goal line with the ball.
No problem there for another point for the Australians from Greg Smith and from Ballarat. Sweden down by 3 then. 3 minutes to go in this first period.
With some good speed, he just burned by the guy that was on him. You see they're setting up so that they don't have to go near Riley Batt. Well, now they've got kind of a zoned up defense going here, and this could be trouble for Sweden because they have to score. They got 10 seconds left on that score clock. 7, 6.
Oh, they've done it.
And they've done it. That was Stefan Jonsson, number 13. He's a lower point player.
Well, sometimes patience is a virtue, and I think he proved the case there.
He just sat in the corner and waited for that pass.
Well, collision. But nobody can stop him, can they?
Well, he bounces off a bit. It's interesting. Riley Batt has been playing now for probably 6 or 7 years, and they found him when he was like 14 or 15 years old, and he was actually getting around on a skateboard. Somebody went out of bounds early.
Batt's off the...
And there's those wheelchair repair guys.
He's back on.
See how quick that was?
That was quick.
Now I think... Okay, it's a Swedish inbound. He may have used a timeout in that particular situation. When we get a look at the clock, I'll see how many timeouts Australia has left. So it all looks very slow here, but what they're doing is setting up a play.
But the route through there was blocked.
Oh.
I think they've lost the ball there.
No, they had to use another timeout. So Sweden has used at least 2 timeouts at this point, and they're only in the first quarter. So he has to get possession of that ball and call a timeout. You get it. It was a good play. And they have 16 seconds on the score clock. They're having a little trouble against the slowed up defense that Australia is throwing at them right now.
Well, they got the ball at the moment with Ullman.
And they got two
Bat
guys,
goes with him.
Two guys in the key, and Bat got the ball.
Great pass.
Great pass, great outlet. And they're up by 4 now. Not the quarter that, oh, that was nice. PJ's got to watch out for that. He knows Riley's there. Mikhail Wahlberg will inbound.
Oh. So Bat takes a tumble there.
They call the spin on PJ. A hit from behind and knocked him out. So that's illegal. You can't hit him from right behind. It's dangerous. So they've called it on PJ, and it's a turnover. So Australia has the ball again. And they're slowing it up because Sweden is also doing a slowed up offense or a slowed up defense on them. And they're looking to, and Riley found a hole.
Well, just as a novice to this sport, this guy looks in a completely different class.
He is pretty good, isn't he?
I'll take on board what you said about the part that the other players are playing, though, off the ball, if you like, the unsung heroes.
And they've done a lot better of learning how to do that in the last little
Well, that was well played by Ullman, wasn't it, to get through Bat there.
He just hit him and kept going. .51 seconds left in this quarter. That means Sweden should get the ball one more time. See if Mikhail Wahlberg can make a difference here. You see he got picked out by number 9. It's all about screens and picks, and if you watch closely, you can see them happen. But if you're not looking for them, you don't even realize they're going on. And a lot of that is done by the lower point players.
In fact, it's an intriguing mix, isn't it? The guy. I mean, it's called rugby, but I mean, to be honest, it's in many ways it's not like rugby at all, is it?
No.
It sort of seems to take different rules from different things. I mean, you can't block off obstructing rugby of either code league or union. So
no, it takes rules from basketball and hockey and a little bit of rugby. And
was that an NFL rule, wasn't it? That all the blocking off.
You can do that in hockey too.
Can you?
And you can do it in basketball. So it's all sort of a combination of 3 or 4 different sports.
Yeah. Of course, it's a no-no in rugby, though, isn't it?
Yes. And it's a lot of fun, and I think it's called rugby more because of the attitude of the players and the hitting that's involved. It's more philosophically like rugby.
Yeah.
And organizations like the IRB are starting to take notice of it, and they love it when they see it played.
Here's Bat. Nice little pass and got the return as well from Harrison.
Yeah. So, and the game is designed for individuals that have a disability that affects all 4 of their limbs in some way, shape, or form. So you can see Riley Bat is he's an amputee, double amputee, and his hands are affected fairly drastically, but he's got full trunk and full arms. So it's quite amazing what these guys can do with the disabilities that they have.
Yeah, he's got very powerful looking arms, hasn't he, as well?
He's a big boy.
Yeah. So 16-10, Australia have taken that first period.
And there's a 1-minute break between periods. You can hear Benoit telling them what they're doing wrong and trying to get him to switch it. And that's the long pass that he's trying to defend against, because when they actually trap Riley, it looks like Australia is getting one of their other players away for a deep ball almost every time. Yeah. So he's trying to get his players to trap Riley and then switch to cover that long ball. And that's a lot like basketball and hockey, where you have to switch coverages on a regular basis. But a 6-point deficit is not good for Sweden at this point. Australia is looking very, very good. I did the U.S. Great Britain yesterday, and the U.S. is looking very, very good too. And the prediction for the tournament is that probably the U.S. will end up playing Australia in the final. But there's the Canadians, who Australia beat by 12 last night, which was not expected.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that.
And the Japanese, who also have come on really strong in the last little while, who have a shot. And Sweden has a shot at the medal. And any upset in the round robin could switch things around. At the Canada Cup, in June, Japan actually beat the U.S. in the round robin, which created a big difference in the crossovers.
Yep.
And it ended up with the USA winning, Canada coming second, and Japan getting the bronze medal.
So 16-10 then in favour of the Australians.
Yeah, a 6-point deficit after the first quarter is tough to come back from. You got a lot of time, but you got to make some changes. And this is 3-on-2. They should score, although that one of those two is Riley. And the other one is the new player for Australia. His name is Bond, Chris Bond. He is a similar disability to Riley. So they have two really fast, strong guys on the floor.
Yeah, two 3.5 players.
And then they have 2.5s on the floor.
Oh,
that was his own fault.
Yeah.
And he was hitting from behind. He should it'd be interesting to see if they call the penalty on him. But I don't think they did because he went out. Yeah, that's a direct hit from behind. So this is Tobias Sandberg. First time he's been on the floor. Sweden has he's out of bounds. Oh, he didn't call him for out of bounds. I thought he went out of bounds, but maybe not. The referees are closer than I am.
And Batchest again powers through the middle.
And the other thing, these referees are the best in the world. Referees have to, they have to referee a lot of games to get to this level. They have to apply to be a referee at this tournament, and they are selected by a selection panel of referees who are not actually refereeing this tournament. So it's not an easy process to become a referee at this tournament. We have the best referees in the world here. And there's the equipment guys again. The pit crew, we'll call them. I actually got to know the Swedish pit crew when they were at the Canada Cup this year, and they're really nice guys. Very, very good guys. And they work hard to keep their team going.
They certainly do work hard.
Brad Duberly is the Australian head coach. He's an ex-player from, he probably hasn't played now for about 6 years, but he was a dominant player in his time as well.
Well, Sweden in possession in the blue.
And that's a turnover. Yeah.
Giving the ball away to the Aussies.
Cameron Bond, or Chris Bond will probably, I was going to set a pit. They're not over half, though. They might keep it over for 12 seconds. He got over.
Great skills in his wheelchair there.
Yeah. So you saw the stat there, steals 3. Those are turnovers, and that's why Sweden is down by as much as they are. They're down by 7 now. And what Australia has on right now is a high-low lineup with Chris Bond and Riley Batt, and then 2.5s. But their 0.5s are very smart 0.5s. I think we just got a jump ball. Yes, we just got a jump ball, and the jump balls are determined by a possession arrow. So whoever got the jump at the first of the game, the possession arrow would go to the opposite team, and every time there's a jump ball, the possession arrow changes. And at the quarters, the possession arrow changes. So that was a jump ball, and it was a possession arrow for Australia, so it's actually another turnover.
And Australia can increase their lead here if Batt can get through.
And he does.
Well, they're struggling, Sweden, to live with them here, aren't they?
Yeah, they may give Riley a bit of a break now because, they're up by 8. They can give him a break until they're, up by 5 or 4 and then put him back in. But I do know that he's got a bad shoulder. So he's playing a bit injured at this point. So they might want to rest him. But I'm not the coach.
Sandberg getting a bit boxed in over on the far side.
Riley's got him covered.
They have men over
now
here,
we got
though.
3-on-2. And that's a very nice pick set by Johnson. You can see they just surround Riley Batt. Now, I'm not sure why the referees let him out of there. Oh, I guess because he's going to inbound. That's one way you can get out of that trap, is to call yourself as the inbounder. But now I'm not sure what's going on. Oh, we've got an equipment problem. We've got an equipment tie-up. The other thing
I was going to say, they looked like that, yeah.
They have, there's 2 different kinds of chairs being used in this game. The longer chairs with the this front end that sticks out a little bit are commonly considered defensive chairs, and they allow the low point players to set better screens because they're a bit longer. And and Wahlberg actually got Riley with that chair. And then the offensive players use chairs that are a little shorter and have a rounder front end so they can't get hit. And the chairs have developed over time. When the game started, the chairs were just everyday chairs, but around 96, things started to change and people started to develop new chairs, and now the chairs are basically specifically designed for each individual that plays the game. They're about $3,500 to $5,000. In fact, some of them can go up to $8,000. And you can see they're all just a little bit different, but the design is very, very specific to the individuals.
Well, Bond managed to steal that ball, but I think it's still
Sweden's ball because he touched it on the way out. So it was last touched by Australia. It's Sweden's ball. Oh, it's a new lineup as well. They've got. It looks like they've taken Sandberg out.
A nice little turn there, but Bat is in Collins' way. He's got the ball back there. Thought he'd given it away.
Got a good break that time.
Kuller scores for Sweden.
All right, I'm just checking who they've got on the floor at this particular point. They got Stefan Johnson. They got Kuller. And Colin Anderson. So they've gone to a little, not quite a high-low lineup, but an in-betweener that's not it's not an even lineup because they've got a 1.5 and a 0.5 on the floor. They've got a 1.5 on the floor. So they've gone to try to get to more of a mid-range point value for all players. So probably all of these players can handle the ball to some degree. Whereas on Australia, it's still just Riley Bat and Chris Bond that can handle the ball. The 2.5s will handle the ball, but very minimally. That's the possession arrow.
Great chair contact there.
There's hits all over the place.
Thudded against each other. I think that's what the crowd like, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, they love it. You can hear them moving and on every time there's a good hit. And it is part of the game. The hits are the hits.
Oh.
But it's the chairs that take the beating.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any more injuries in this game than there are in any other team sport. Right? Say like able-body rugby. I think they're going to replay that.
I was going to say, I don't think that's going to count, is it?
It looks like the score clock didn't reset. And we're into our second day of competition, so the technical officials are also being reviewed and being observed throughout the whole tournament to see who does the crossovers, the semifinals and the finals. And that's a technical official that's supposed to be resetting the shot clock or the score clock, and they didn't do it that time. And it could be a technical problem. Looks like they're working on it.
Well, I was just about to say, Duncan, having done some of the football, what we call football, soccer, at the five-a-side tournament, we've had problems with the clock, and I've done some of the sitting volleyball as well, where they've had, and this is really important, they've had problems with the score clock, and the clocks haven't been working, and they've gone through 3 or 4 more points, and the clocks haven't worked.
Yeah, it's looking like they got it fixed now. Oh, that looks like one of the things that has been done here, I know, is they brought schools in to watch these games, and that looked like they were all in the same uniform. It looked like a school, which is great because these kids get to see the game and they get to see people with disabilities doing things that they probably don't expect them to do.
Absolutely.
And they learn.
They are back at school now, the kids in this country. You know, they should be in the classroom working.
Yep.
No, they shouldn't. No,
you know what?
They'll learn more watching this.
They're learning more here.
Absolutely. It's like everything.
And they're loving it at the same time.
Absolutely.
Oh, there's a turnover.
Great contact.
He just didn't gauge Chris Bond's speed. And look at that.
Bond.
They kind of know where each other are going to be too. These two,
Bond and Bat,
in the long run are going to be they're going to be tough to beat. But Australia hasn't beat the US yet. So by the end of the tournament, we'll have a good look at it. Australia's looking good. but they have a lot of trouble with the U.S. And Sweden is now down by 9.
And they're giving the ball away again there.
So that's 10. Now, one of the things that could happen in the end, I haven't checked to see how ties are determined in this tournament, but in the round robin, it might be scores for and against common opponents.
Yeah.
So Canada lost by 12 to Australia, but Sweden's already down by 10. And we're only in the second quarter. It could make a difference if they end up with some kind of a tie in the round. Oh, there's another turnover. The ball is out. Almost a turnover. Riley was digging for it, but he didn't quite get it.
Well, it's conceivable what you were saying before, because it, in this form, you suspect Australia might win all their group games, and then the second place is possibly up for grabs between Sweden, Belgium, and Canada.
And all three of them, they could end up in a three-way tie. You never know. At the Canada Cup again 2 months ago, Canada only beat Belgium by 1 point, and they beat Sweden and Belgium. They beat in overtime, and Sweden, I think, they only beat by 2. So it could happen. Riley back got called for hitting on the arm again. Another illegal use of hands penalty. It's too bad because he didn't have to do that. He had him blocked, so he was not going to score.
So he waits there for a minute, unless Sweden score before that.
Yeah, you always go to swipe the ball, though, because you just have this, it's there, you want to get it. When the more, and Riley is one of those more experienced players, but, sometimes you got to lay off that and just play the game because you've already got him blocked out.
It's still human nature if the ball is there to try to get it, even if you know you shouldn't.
Norland scores, and it's a 9-point again. Ooh.
Away goes back.
There they go. You can see now the other thing that's happening is once Riley back gets away, you can see the Swedish players just let him go, and they transition to offense. So they try to set up so they can get their inbound in while he's down the floor. Oh, there's another steal. Down by 10.
Very ominous this is looking now for the Swedes.
And they're playing some interesting lineups, so I'm not, the coaching situation, you never know what's going on. But, there's another turnover. They might want to call a timeout or make a change at some point here, because this lineup doesn't seem to be doing very well. Down by 12 now.
Yeah, down by 6 after the first period, already down by 12, and we've still got 3 minutes to go in this second period.
Yeah, not looking good. Not looking good for Sweden. I expected a better show out of them as well. But maybe, maybe it's not the showing from them. Maybe it's just Australia playing to the level that they can. They do have an excellent team. Okay, they're going to sub, and let's see. I think they'll probably give Riley a break. Yeah, they're going to leave Chris Bond on, and they're going to get Riley on the bench, give him a little break.
Yeah, he's blowing out his cheeks there.
Yeah, it's a good plan for them. They need to keep Riley in good shape for the semis and the final, because they don't know who they're going to have to cross over against and might need him for a whole game.
So we're into a timeout here. 3 minutes and 9 seconds remain in the second period of this wheelchair rugby. This is Group B from the basketball arena. It's plain sailing at the moment for the Australians. 27-15 they lead. Duncan Campbell here with me, David Oates, watching this wheelchair rugby match. Sweden have had no answers really to Australia.
They may be able to do a little bit with this lineup, although this is still another high-low lineup, because Hose is a three-point player, and Chris Bond is a 3.5. So they're going high-low, but Sweden's got a lineup on that may be able to work against these guys.
Well, Bond has also been very influential, hasn't he? I mean, I know we focused on Riley back, but Chris Bond has also been very influential in this game.
And he's a very good player. He's a newer player, so he doesn't have the experience, but my goodness, he is fast and strong. And this is a low point player. This is Lees. I think he's a 1. So he weights down deep, and Bond can certainly get it down to him. As long as he can catch it, he's in. And it forces Sweden to actually respect that pass. There goes Norland again. He's got a pass if he needs it, but he didn't do it. And there we go.
Oh!
I think he probably should have done that when he had the opportunity.
Yeah, they wasted their chance there, didn't they?
They did, and it's another turnover. So what's happened there was Hose was stuck with 3 guys around him and he couldn't move, so he just called inbounder. Now that could be a bit of a problem because if Sweden can get in there, they can trap him, but they didn't. They did not get in there. And the ball's down the floor to a low point player. He got it. That was a nice catch.
Yeah, he's done well there, Lees.
He called a timeout just in case he was going to go out of bounds. He got hit and could have got bounced out of bounds, but he called a timeout. Now I think Australia has used 2 of those now. Sweden's used 3, so they only have 1 left. 2 minutes left in the second period. Benoit over on the sidelines, the Swedish coach, trying to think of what to do next. Working it out in his head and how he's going to handle halftime.
Well, I think it's what we call in Great Britain damage limitation time as far as the Swedes are concerned. There's absolutely no way on what we've seen that they've got a chance of winning this game.
I don't think they can come back. They may be able to reduce the deficit as Australia plays their bench, but I don't think they have a chance to win it because as soon as it gets close, Australia put Riley Bat back in. But they may not have to.
They may not have to. Not if Bond keeps playing like this. 2 minutes and 3 seconds remain in this second period.
And they want to play Bond a lot, Australia does, because he doesn't have the playing experience. So this has given them a chance to give him some playing experience as well as Hose.
Yeah, in a game that they've really got won before the halfway point.
Yeah.
That was well played by Sweden, though.
Yeah, Sweden has a good team. I'm surprised that the deficit is as high as it is.
Australia have hardly made a mistake, though, have they? I think that's one of the reasons.
Oh, there's a mistake. Is it a turnover?
You see, that's called the curse of the commentator.
Yes. And there we go. There's the first. Is that the first Australian turnover?
Well, I think it possibly is. If it's not the first, it's only the second.
And Sweden has scored again, so they've reduced the deficit a little bit. It's only 11 now. And you can see the effect of the disability actually there. He hasn't got the hands, he hasn't got the fingers to grab that ball, and he just bounced it off.
Bond scores.
12 points. Still a 12-point deficit. Minute and 25 to go in the half. Hopefully Benoit Lebrecq, their coach, can get them fired up at halftime so we see a better half. And I'm just thinking that Australia will probably play its bench for the second half and get them playing time. Another score for Sweden. 1:08 to go.
Well, lots of applause when Sweden score. Everybody, particularly in this country, loves an underdog, and that is definitely what Sweden are here.
At this point, yeah.
Super play from Bond again. Just powers through for another point. And back goes the 12-point margin.
Yeah, 12 points is going to be tough. Going to be cool. Oh, sounds like somebody has an equipment problem. I thought I heard a tire go.
I think you did hear a tire go.
Yeah, here comes the pit crew. And you can see at the back of the bench, they've got tires and wheels lined up for each player.
Yeah.
Each player comes with with at least 1 and most likely 2 spare tires at all times. And now the equipment guys will just switch the tire, switch the whole wheel, and they'll go back to the bench and fix the flat.
Must take a fair bit of organisation, all this.
Oh, it does. It does. And a pretty good toolkit. And a good tire pump. There's the Swedish fans. They're going to have a tough time, eh? I'm from Canada. I watched the Canada game last night, and we lost by 12. It was pretty tough in the second half.
Yeah.
There they go.
Yeah, a bit of space there for the Swedes.
They have it. All right, that's another one. They have 40 seconds, which is the exact time of the... Oh, Australia used a timeout. That's maybe 3 timeouts they used. And I think they did that because the low point player got the ball, but he had no one to give it up to.
No.
Because they had trapped Bond in a 3-way trap. And this is a perfect time for Australia to work on its new players, and they can work against a tough team and figure out how to play as a team. Oh, he was looking deep, but didn't give it up. And there's Bond. He's quite close to. Oh yeah. He got rid of it before he went out of bounds, I guess.
Yeah, well, he popped that ball out very well to Joshua Hose.
And Hose is going, but is he going to make it? Yep. With some good speed from Hose, who's a young player. He's got a young player out there who's learning how to play the game.
He's 26 years of age. One of his claims to fame apparently is he's a public speaker. He's doing public speaking duties.
Here we go. Got a reach-in foul there. I'm an armchair referee too, just so you know.
All right.
We have a saying in North America: armchair quarterbacks. I'm an armchair referee.
Right. I think I am as well, but not in this sport.
They got it down to 11 now. Australia's got the ball, but they're going to run the clock down. Okay,
that's it.
There's a 5-minute half time where these coaches will talk to their teams, and I'm sure Brad Dooley will just let his team know they're doing very, very well, and maybe keep Riley Batt out of the game for the second half. And Benoit is going to have to do some major chatting with his team and see if he can get some fire into them and see if they can at least get a little bit of a comeback going.
Well, there's no need really to use Batt if, particularly as Duncan says, there's potential injury problem there, or certainly not 100% fitness problem, because Australia at the halfway point lead by 11, 32-21, as you can see there. We'll be back shortly.
All right, welcome back to the second half. Sweden inbounds the ball and see if they can put a little dent in this lead that Australia has.
We're in the basketball arena.
Riley Batts out of bounds. They're going to call that a penalty goal. And it looks like Sweden's done an interesting thing. They put a high-low lineup in there. They've got P.J. Ullman and Tobias Sandberg, who are high-point players, and they're 2 low-point players on the floor. So they are trying to combat high-low with high-low.
Well, it certainly worked for Australia, didn't it?
Although Australia put Riley Batt back on, which I'm surprised at, but maybe they just want to make a point. And Sweden didn't stop that, but look at that. 2 low-point players screened off the whole side of the goal. So all Riley Batt had to do was get around there, and it was freewheeling in. Now this is where they might have some trouble with the inbound, because they're using low-point players for inbound.
Yeah.
And they don't have the range. Here goes PJ. And Australia's also used a newer high-point player with Riley Batt as well. I'm not even sure his name yet. Let me just check who he is.
Which number is that?
I'm trying to see it. Is it Cody Meakin?
He's a 2.5 player. The number 8 you're looking for in the Australian colours.
No, it's number 1. Which is Ben Newton.
Yeah, Ben Newton.
Who's a 3-point player. And it's the first time we've seen him in this game. So Australia is using their bench. And there's Sandberg. He's got PJ. He should have PJ with him. He picks Riley Batt out.
And they blocked him off well there.
Yep. And now they're going to try and say, PJ Ullman's just called equipment. So you can only call equipment when you have the ball as well on offense. So if you get an equipment while the other team has the ball, you're stuck until it gets into your possession. And here comes the pit crew. You see the way Riley can just bounce off.
Yeah.
That's the advantage. He's got full trunk.
And incredible upper body strength by the looks of things.
And that's a bit of an advantage because you can actually jump your chair. Whereas a lot of the players that are spinal cord injuries, they don't have that trunk. They're lower point players, but they don't have that trunk ability to jump their trunk. 10-point lead. They got it down to 10. And they do have Riley Batt's stuff there. Oh, and the ball's out. Riley
No, they got it back.
Went right to Riley. Now there should be 12 seconds in the half. 12 seconds before they get over. They had to call a timeout. Now I'm wondering how many times, if we can get a look at the bench, we'll find out how many timeouts they have left. I think both teams have used 3 now. So they each only have 1 left.
We've got more wheel problems here.
Hey.
Yeah,
And wheels.
And wheel.
We've got equipment everywhere. So now Wahlberg calls the equipment. There we go. Now all that tape and those gloves is to protect your arms because you're working hard out there and you scrape your arms up playing. You can get kind of a road rash on your arms, but everybody tapes up so that they don't have to do that. The refs are also, as the round robin happens, the referees are also being observed to determine who's going to do the semis and the finals. And only the best will make it.
Although, do they have the rule that they have in most sports? If your nation's in the final, you can't referee.
Yes. And that's a bit of a problem.
It is a problem.
In rugby, especially because most of the good referees come from particular countries. A lot of them come from Canada, a couple from the U.S., and the U.S. is almost always in the final. And Canada has been in the final or in the crossover, so it's tough. Again, as a developing sport, those things are improving over time. There goes Sweden. Riley took another penalty in that particular situation. They're going to get it down to 10 again. Now, Sweden's kind of killing time.
Yeah, why are they doing
At this particular point, they're probably trying to trap Riley back down at the other end while they can. But, you know, when you're down by 10, wasting time isn't necessarily the best strategy. So that's what's happening. You can see it down here.
Well, it's a tough physical workout, this, of course, for the Swedes.
Try and get free or to trap someone.
They've got 40 seconds.
And
you can see they only had 2. You see that a lot more in basketball, of course, but I think that's the first time we've seen it today where the clock has started to count down.
Yeah, where they've used it. I don't understand. I actually don't understand why Sweden did that.
Well, they've got it back to 9, haven't they? And
yeah.
I suspect they realise that they can't win this game, really.
And here we go. And Riley's gone. We'll see what Australia does, how long they leave Riley in the game. He loves to play, mind you. You know, all the players love to play. So they don't actually want to sit on the bench. Yeah,
but they've got to think about further down the line, haven't they,
right.
Australia? I mean, Sweden don't possibly need to do that so much, but unless they want to save their players for their last match against Canada.
Their last match will be against Canada, and by the looks of things, that might turn out to be the game that determines whether you go to the medal round or not.
Yeah.
Because only the top 2 in both divisions go to the medal rounds. And Sweden has already beat Belgium, so if Canada beats Belgium this afternoon, that game will become the medal round game. Because it looks like Australia's going to be 2-0. Oh, that was nicely done. You can see everybody getting on Mikhail.
Yeah, they're on his case, aren't they? On Wahlberg's case. Sweden have got it back. Oh, well played. Well played, Sweden there. Ullman scores and they're back to within 10.
Yeah, they've reduced it by 2.
They're having a good quarter.
Yep, they're doing well. The high-low lineup is working.
Well, it's useful for them to experiment against what are, let's be honest, superior opponents.
Yes, and you have to realize that the high-low is working, but they also, Australia has Newton on the floor who doesn't play very much, so he's a newer player. If they put Chris Bond back on the floor, it might change. So they're still, Australia is still getting their bench some experience. There goes PJ. They're down to 9.
Well, it's a good response, this, from the Swedes, because I suppose you could easily let your heads drop and wilt, couldn't you?
Yeah, and there goes Newton. The new boy on the block. And he gets 1, keeps it at 10.
Ben Newton from Coffs Harbour in New South Wales. I've actually been there. That's a beautiful part of the world.
I've been there too.
Have you? Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it?
Isn't Coffs Harbour where they have the big banana?
It is, yeah. That's absolutely right. The big banana. And where's the big pine? There's a big pineapple somewhere in Australia.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that one is.
No, I've seen that. I just can't remember where it is.
And there's Tobias. He'll be able to get the ball. He's got Riley on him though, so he's got to be able to get away from that. And once again, Riley's getting his hands in there and just checking that ball out on a regular basis. And that's one of the things that players at this level have to learn is how to protect the ball and keep it in your possession. He's getting his hands in there and getting it out on a regular basis. PJ's got the ball, but he can't go anywhere. There's Tobias. And that low point player hooked up Riley Bat really nicely. Lofton.
And here comes Bat. Bashes into Sundberg.
And Toby keeps the ball. Works his way out of it. He's probably waiting for PJ, but I think he is double teamed down at the other end. Oh, and there's a turnover. And there goes Riley.
Good well there, Newton.
Now, Australia is killing the clock a little bit. Now, PJ probably took a penalty there just to make sure that he scored and not let him kill the clock. Looks like subs. So yeah, Australia 9 steals. Whew, that's a lot. And what are they up by?
12.
12.
Yeah. So it's 3/4 of the story. I was
Yep.
going to say it's the story, but it's 3/4 of it anyway.
And we have subs. Oh, he's put, Brad Dougherty has put basically his starting lineup on the floor right now. And Benoit has gone with another high-low lineup.
Now they've ceded possession here again, Sweden, and they've given it to exactly the wrong man. Oh!
Now we'll see what we do with this one, because that was a late hit. And there is something in this game called a flagrant foul, which you stay in the box for 3 scores by the other team. Because that was kind of late. There's a little bit of a frustration.
That was kind
play,
of late, Duncan, yeah.
and it was behind the axle, which is, yes, that's basically a flagrant. And I'm pretty sure that they probably called it a flagrant. He's in the box, which means the flagrant means that he doesn't come out until Australia scores 3 times or 3 minutes. And that will pretty much do it for Sweden, I would say. They got to play for a little while longer, but I don't think they can come back now, although we didn't think they could come back at halftime. And again, they got to get over half within 12 seconds. They got 3 left. 2, 1. There they go. They got to use their timeout. And I think that's their last timeout. Yeah, he doesn't look very happy, does he? Sitting in the penalty box for quite a while.
Well, I don't think he could argue with the decision, though.
No. No. You know, you never know what the intent was, but it was a late hit. It was behind the axle, and it put Riley in a pretty dangerous position. Oh, that was nice.
That was nice.
It was a very nice pass. That was a bump pass. Haven't seen a lot of bump passes in this game. But that's from players that don't have good enough hand function to really do an overhand pass. They sometimes just drop and bump it, and they can get extremely accurate with it. Carr scores. 13-point lead. And yes, it is a flagrant.
You know,
he's still there.
He's still there. Just more frustration, I guess, than anything else.
Yes, and I don't think Sweden has any more timeouts left. So they may get a 12-second call here because they're awfully close to the 12-second time limit. Well, they threw it up. Oh, they got it. Wait, that was excellent. They got over before. Oh, there's Riley Bat with his hands again. And Norland got the ball and has done a good.
Great ball. That's a great ball.
That was great. That was really good.
Well, they've sort of shown flashes of individual brilliance, Sweden, haven't they? But overall, in terms of the team concept, Australia have been much better.
Much better. Now Riley might try and take a little time off the clock. There's 1:30 left in the 3rd period. He's got 25 seconds left on the score clock, so he'll take it now. I'm surprised that Australia has not taken Riley off the floor now.
Yeah, it's a little bit mystifying. If as you say, he does have a problem, despite the fact he likes to play.
He loves to play.
They wouldn't be the same team without him, would he?
No.
You know, and if it ends as we think it might, or as you think it might, as the expert in an Australia-USA final, then they're for sure going to need him there, aren't they?
Yes, they certainly are. He will be playing all game. They won't have an opportunity to actually sub him out more than likely. Norland hits back, and there's a turnover. Now they're just blowing the whistle there for safety reasons.
That wasn't illegal, was it?
It was not illegal. He just went down. It was a good hit. Ooh, he bounced his head though, didn't he?
1 minute to go in this third period.
And Riley's calling equipment again. Pit crew's coming out. They go through a lot of equipment in this sport. Tires and tubes.
You're telling me.
Tires, tubes, and wheels. There we go. He's ready to go again. PJ's got the ball. And he's going around everybody. That's a nice run, including Riley.
Well, he's shown glimpses of potential for sure, PJ Ullman. He's 37 years of age now, so he's one of the more senior players.
He's a bit older, and when he wants to, he can really fly. And sometimes it's psychological, you know, what players will do and won't do at certain times. You need to put the effort in. And that comes from your attitude towards the game. And Riley never seems to slow down.
That's a really good pass.
There's a penalty. Riley gets the penalty for illegal use of hands. He was reaching in and he was nowhere near the ball. 13-point lead.
Adshak did well there, didn't he, to protect the ball?
You see, he doesn't have the ball. He's got his midriff. He's got his ribs. It's definitely a penalty. Good call.
And he was a 1.0 player who was trying to protect that ball from Bat.
He's a 3.5 and has been stealing the ball all night long. Australia's got 9 steals. Now again,
they're just eating up the clock here, aren't they?
Eating up the clock. Now this is the end of the quarter, so a lot of times they will do this. He'll score just for the so
Australia haven't got time.
Australia don't have time to score.
And
if the possession arrow is in Sweden's favor, it gives them the ball after the quarter as well. So it can be a bit of a turnaround, a bit of a swing play. All right, that's the end of the third period.
So 32 plays 44. So Australia lead by 12. They led by 11 at halfway. So although they still won that quarter, the Aussies, it was Sweden's best quarter of the game.
It was. It was, and Australia was playing some subs again, and it looks like they're going to take Riley out now and let him rest. And we'll see what Sweden does. Let's see if Sweden tries to lower the deficit in case it is a tiebreaker in the long run. And these are all replays, and if you look closely, a lot of them are Swedish turnovers or Riley scoring. And there's that flagrant foul again. Yeah, that was just a late hit. I don't know if he intended it, but it happens. And that's why the flagrant foul was put in to avoid those kind of plays.
Yeah. I think, as I said before, he was probably just frustrated. You know, there's bound to be an element of frustration, I think.
Yeah, they're going to put Chris Bond back in the game, and we'll see what Sweden does. Can't really tell who they're going to play, but it looks like they're going to sit PJ for a little while, and Norland. Well, maybe not, because Tobias is there too. And they're working on Riley Bat's chair, making sure it's ready for the next game, or maybe the fourth quarter. Swedish fans still excited. I saw a few Canadian fans in there waiting for the next game.
Hoping to improve on last night's
performance, yes. Okay, they put Chris Bond in. And Riley's just getting hydrated. And Sweden has put a middle, sort of a mid-point lineup in. They got a 1, I think a 3 and 2 twos.
There goes Bond.
That's pretty good. That was pretty fast. and this is the first time we've seen number 1 on the floor for Sweden. Oh, he dropped that himself. Swedish ball. So Glenn Adazak is on for the first time for Sweden. He's a low point player right there. And he's inbounding.
Also got Nazim Erdem on for Australia.
And there's a long pass. That's nice. Nicely done. Nicely done. 12-point lead for Australia. They've got Bond trapped. So he's got to get rid of the ball.
And he has to Cody Meakin.
It's close to the 12 seconds, but he got it over half to Lees, and there's Bond. That was pretty good defense, though, on Sweden's part. They were very close to getting a 12-second violation. There's Glenn Adazak again.
That 12-second violation that Duncan is talking about, you've got to cross halfway in 12 seconds, a bit like the basketball rule, although it's 8 seconds in basketball. You've got to score within 40 seconds, or it's a handover. Sweden have scored through Colin.
Oh, he's long gone. There's no defense on that one. And you notice that as soon as he scores, he goes to play defense. And that's a big part of the game, is transitioning from offense to defense as quickly as you can and not getting caught off guard. Now this is going to look like a tough throw in. And that, I think that went off Australia, so it'll still stay Sweden's ball, I think. But they were lucky. They were getting a break on that one. Meakin's in the game now. We haven't seen him up to now. So the bench players are getting their time now.
Hurt finds Colin. Another point for Sweden. Deficit stays at 12 as it was at the end of the third period.
There's Meakin inbounding to Bond. Oh, he called equipment. He must have got a flat. Either a flat or a bent axle. Bent axle.
I was going to say, I don't think he's got a flat there.
If it's a bent axle, it's tough for these guys to get it out of the slot, out of the receptor. Yeah. Oh, they got it. They got it, and the equipment guy's already looking at it to see what he has to do when he gets back to the bench. Inbound for Australia. Is he going to try and score, or is he just going to... Oh, checked out. Very good. So we've got a turnover.
Excellent stuff from the Swedes there.
They seem to be trying to slow up the game a little bit as well, which is, I guess, good. Look at the steals, 11 now.
Yeah.
11 to 3.
Only the third Swedish steal.
Here's a goal for Sweden, nicely done.
Yeah, neat point there.
We got it down to 11 now. And it's back to 12. 5:56 left. In the game, still a 12-point lead. They played even for the second half.
Yeah, I think they've taken the foot off the gas, haven't they?
Oh, yeah, Australia's taking their foot off the gas. What's the call? I heard a whistle. I heard a whistle. I'm not sure what's happening. We may have, it looks like we have a timeout.
Yeah.
Or something on the floor. Let's get something off the floor. So there, then you can see everybody's transitioning already, getting ready. There's 3 guys around Bond. Riley's relaxing now. You notice he gets some ice on his elbow. Just preventative maintenance. Preventative maintenance for the body. There goes Hewitt.
Yep.
And see how that screen was set up? Very nicely. Very nicely done.
Yes, they protected him very well. You know, nobody got near him, did they, in the end?
No. Oh, they got a tough inbound. Oh, he's gone.
This is the problem for Sweden, isn't it? They can score themselves, but every time they score, almost immediately, and it's just one pass straight through to Bond.
They can't stop Australia.
They can't
so
stop
it's
Australia.
Goal for goal. Good, so tall. They can just throw the ball up and he can get it.
That's Kuller. He's only a 2.0 classification player.
But he's about 8 feet tall.
I was going to say, but as Duncan says, he has a height advantage, I think it's fair to say. You can see look how tall he sits in the chair compared to the Aussie 7 and 8.
He's tall. Now you watch. He'll just set up in front of the key so that his inbounder can just throw it up high and he'll get it. Yeah, interesting to watch the new players and they got to figure out where they're supposed to be. And they're doing a pretty good job of it. They've got him out of the play. They've got Colin out of the play. It's into Kool-Aid. Set a few picks. And he's out of there. Now Bond is still roaming somewhere. There he is. But all you need to do really now is set a pick for him, and he's in.
So they're trading points, aren't they?
Yeah, they're trading points.
Australia are happy with this outcome, aren't they? You know, let's be honest.
Yeah, they're fine. They basically had this game at halftime, so they've just been getting everybody playing time, and getting everybody a little more experience, and having a good time in the second half. And Sweden may be doing almost the same thing now with only 4:44 left and down by 12. Could be very interesting if they both end up losing. If Sweden and Canada both end up losing to Australia by 12.
Yeah.
The tiebreakers might be tough.
Yeah.
Although they play each other the last game, so they can't tie. What happens in a tie game is you play 3 minutes of overtime until somebody wins.
But it looks very much like that's what it's going down to.
Yeah. Yeah. As long as Canada beats Belgium this afternoon, it's going to be the big game is going to be tomorrow to figure out who goes through.
Well, I'd say fingers crossed for you, but I don't want to upset any Belgians. It's a great country. I like going to Belgium. Great
and
beer. Have you been there?
I have been there, yes. I actually wheeled on the bike routes there maybe 20 years ago.
Oh, right, okay.
On a wheel from Amsterdam to Paris.
Well, it's a very good country for cycling and
it's great.
you know, and wheeling. It's a great country for beer. I don't know whether you discovered that or not yourself.
I have.
Yeah.
And they're he touched the cone. He was out of bounds before he went in. So that doesn't count as a turnover. And Belgium has a good team. They have a very good team, and if they come out to play hard, they could upset Canada. They've got one player who's outstanding. Lars Mertens is an outstanding player on the Belgium team. Yeah, he hit that cone. Good call by the referee. He could have hit that with his back wheel if he had his two front wheels in first, but he didn't. He came in on an angle, so he only got one wheel in and then he hit the cone. Now we got Henderson back in the game.
4:13 to go.
And believe it or not, Riley Batts back in the game. And I think he went out. Oh no, they called the Swedish player for illegal use of hands. And he's already over to the penalty box.
Yep.
He seemed to know what was going on.
Yes, it is. Number 22.
4 minutes to go. 12-point lead. Australia has the ball. Oh, it looked like he had all ball that time. But those are tough calls for the referees to make. Riley scores. They're up by 13. Hurts back on the floor. Passes Zach into Kool-Aid. Now the thing with Kool-Aid is he's tall and long and lanky, but he's not the fastest guy on the floor.
No, which is presumably why he's a... Oh,
Yeah,
he's a 2.0
Yep.
classification player.
He's a 2.0 player, and he's not going to be as fast as Riley Bat or Bond. So, you know, you take the height with the deficit of the speed.
Australia out to 13 now.
And Bat back in the game again. There's Kool-Aid. I was going to wait for a pick. Oh, Bat could have taken a penalty on that one. He's not over half yet. Oh, that was nice.
I was about to say they might lose it here in their hurry to get over the halfway point in time.
There we go.
It's a lovely pass that from the number 14, Andreas Collin from Gothenburg.
Oh, and there's a turnover. And they scored again. Got it down to 11. 3:10 left. Scott to Henderson, and he's just looking. They're looking for Riley, and there he is.
Steals now 11-4 in Australia's favour.
.304 to go. Some Swedish fans. Or no, those are Australians fans.
Those are Australians.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And they're happy. Oh, that was a nice pass. That was another bump pass. All the way down the floor. Pretty amazing that they can be accurate with that.
Yeah.
All right, they've got Riley Bat trapped out of the play, so they have to inbound to somebody else. And they've inbounded to a little point player. Ball,
Oh, they've lost it again. Well, that was good defensively from Sweden, wasn't it?
Yeah. And now they've got 3 guys that can carry the ball. So does Australia. Oh, that was nicely done there. Nice pass. Nice pass. 10-point lead.
Collins pass to Kula.
There goes Carr. Now he may... Oh, but that's free. I was going to say he might not beat the Swedish player, but that was free to go. I'm not sure. Well, they got subs. So what are they doing? They're bringing 2 players in. It looks like they're leaving Riley out.
Yeah. How far? You know, say a player like Riley Bat, if he stayed on for the full game, which, as you say, he has done in the past, how far would they go in their wheelchairs in a 32-minute game?
Oh, I have no idea about distance.
No.
I know that they would be
it's hard
tired.
work, though. It's hard work, and they'll be tired
very,
at the end
very
of it.
tired. It's a 27-meter court, so if you look at how many times Riley Bat's been up and down it, you might be able to figure it out.
Yeah. Well, I'm no mathematician.
Boys.
Oh, whoa.
And that was because, and he's calling a charge. That's a good call. So he's taken like a 10. He took like 6 pushes before he hit him. And he threw everything into it. And they called him for a charge. It's rare that you see that call, but they called it. And Riley's not happy about it. And that was a low pointer that got hammered. So it's sometimes they'll call a charge a little more liberally if it's a low pointer that a high pointer is hammering. And if he takes a run at it. So that was a charge. Some people are arguing whether that's a charge or not, but PA called it. And
so what you're saying is if that had been on a fellow 3.5er, he might have got away with that.
Well, and the 3.5er might not have gone down the way Mikhail did either.
No.
And they might have let it go. You're right. I think he just called it a charge. I don't think he called it a flagrant. So they're
trying to block
onto
off
the
Bond,
ball
aren't they?
so that they can trap Bond. And this is just their practicing, basically, right now. They scored. They didn't trap Riley in the box, and Bond called in. Oh, I thought he called inbounder, but he didn't. So the ball's in. Riley's got a pick on PJ, and they're gone. Minute and a half to go. 11-point lead. So Sweden never did make a run even in the second half. They were down 6 at the first quarter. They were down 12 at half, and it's just stayed that way the whole second half. There's a combination of Australia turning off the aggressive defense, and Sweden just staying the same. There's PJ. Took a good pass. Surrounded.
It was a good take as well, wasn't it?
Still 24 seconds on that shot clock. I think that, yeah, Tobias touched that before it went out of bounds. Another turnover. I'm not sure if they call that a steal or a turnover, but it essentially gives Australia the ball. And they're going to go back up to 12. 58-46.
With 69 seconds remaining at the basketball arena.
Most games, if you're setting goals for your team, you're trying to keep the other team below 50, and you're trying to score more than 50. In this game, Australia's got 58. Sweden hasn't made 50 yet. I think they just got called for 12 seconds without getting over half. So it's another turnover. And that's because they have no timeouts left. And that right through the hole. 13.
Yeah, Australia finishing with a bit of a flourish here.
Yeah, it seems like Australia has turned on the defensive pressure for the last 2 minutes. 47 seconds left. They do have Bond and Bat on. And PJ is getting up the floor. He's over half, so that's not going to happen. And he'll probably just try to, well, he'll score. He'll score. Australia's got 28, and it's again, 12 points. Australia's got 26 seconds to score. And another equipment. Ready to go again, and the equipment guy's already checking out the wheel. What's he got to do when he gets back there? Benoit can't be happy. Can't be happy. Figuring out what went wrong.
Well, I think the long and the short of it is they've met better opponents, haven't they?
Yeah.
In all honesty.
Yeah, Australia is a really, really good team. That's
oh.
Yeah, I think Riley just did that. I'm not sure, but I don't think he even hit him. Let's see this. Oh, he hit him. But
it looked like he deliberately
hit him that hard.
Yeah, no, I don't either.
I think he dived.
I think the judges have called that, though, haven't they? That
I know they'd already called something. They'd already called an on the arm, so they didn't call that at all. $10 seconds left. Are they going to make it 13 just to make it uneven? Or are they just going to run the clock down? They made it 13. And that's it. Australia once again winning in a big, big way. They're looking all set for this tournament. Oh, there's still a second left. 0.6 of a second left on the clock, so we have to inbound the ball.
Yeah. And that's it. It is over. And Australia, who won their first game against Canada by 12 points, have beaten Sweden now by 13. We'll be seeing them further down the line for sure. Whether we see the Swedes again other than in the group game, well, that remains to be seen. That will possibly come down to their match against Canada. There are the scores 16-10 in the first, 16-11 in the second, only 12-11 in the third, 16-15 in the last. Absolutely no doubt, Duncan Campbell, that the Australians are going to take some stopping.
Oh, they're looking awfully good, and they're looking awfully ready for this Paralympic tournament. They're set to go, and it's going to take a lot to upset them.
Good game, but ultimately a little one-sided. Australia have beaten Sweden here by 60 points to 47.